I have to admit that singing was the aspect of the hobby that really scared me. And I went through a process in my life where I believed that if I just had enough singing books on my shelf, I would be able to do it. I didn't mean it, I just collected them. And it turned out that didn't work. But anyway, this the time of this is how I got to be a scenery addict. And as I have done scenery, I've found out I really enjoy it. I'm not saying I'm good at it, but it's fun. I really enjoy it. It's creative, and so that's what I want to share today. I've thought about applying to do this at a regional convention, but I've never had done that. But anyway, the subjects I'm going to cover, and I will cover some of them in detail. Number one is sources of information I will cover. And there's just a lot of sources of information, getting started and how I got started, what made me a scenery addict, and then I want to talk about terrain. And I invented a method of scenery that I'm very happy with. I have not seen it anywhere. I created it, I tried it, and I like it. And I'm going to demonstrate that. Ground cover, rocks, trees, and water. I'm not going to cover those too much. Anyway, sources of information. There are a lot of books available. And what I have done is I have collected scenery books. I haven't read them all, but these are 4 here. I brought a few. You're welcome to thumb through them. I don't know how many of them are still in print. This one is very, very new. I just had it a couple of months, but you're welcome to thumb through it and see what it has. But the thing you want to do with scenery is you want to read a lot of different techniques and then select one. And the nice thing about scenery is you can experiment with it. If you don't like it, don't do it. If you do like it, do it. And I've had one material that was supposed to be great, and I tried it and I didn't like it. And I still got it, and I need to throw it in the trash. But anyway, the scenery is something you got to learn by doing. There's no other way to do it. You just got to do it, and you can't do it by reading books. But anyway, these are 4 of the books that I have. Some of them I have here, and you're welcome to thumb through them. These are 4 more. This is the one that's supposed to be recent. Paul Scholes is a scenery expert. He had a series at RMC several years ago. He's giving clinics at conventions. There are a lot of videos available from Comback and others. You can pass that around. I have some of the videos from Comback, and these are helpful. But again, just look at everybody's techniques and find something that works. And try it. If it doesn't work, don't do it. But it's fun to try. And it's fun to kind of think about things, because it forces you to think about things you haven't thought about, believe it or not. One source that I have become a Woodland Scenics fan. Woodland Scenics does a great job, I think. They have a video called Model Scenery Made Easy. They have a catalog, and it's fun just to go through the catalog. And they have some tremendous scenes in here, stuff they've done, and you wonder, man, that's really great. I wonder if I could do that. And all you got to do is try. If it doesn't work, don't do it. But Woodland Scenics, in my view, is fantastic. You can order direct from them. There are a few Woodland Scenics products at RC Hobbies in Huntsville, and I promote them because the more Woodland Scenics things they sell, the more they'll have. So I try to encourage them. I try to encourage it. They have a lot of videos. WoodlandScenics.com. Click on videos. Woodland Scenics has a lot of instructional videos, and they're very helpful. They're kind of short, but they're all very, very helpful. And so, some of the water scenes, I'm trying to get, my next project that I haven't started yet is a waterfall and a babbling brook, where it's not just a water thing, but where you go over rocks and all that kind of stuff, and I'm going to try to do that. And I have, that's my next project that I got to learn. They have, I think I skipped a slide, but anyway, they have a series of learning. No, I will get to that. Okay, I'm not. The other thing you want to do is look at pictures. Now, I took this picture. This is off the Coombs and Toltec narrow gauge railroad, which is what I'm trying to duplicate. I'm trying to duplicate the scenery of the Coombs and Toltec railroad, because I think it's fantastic. So I've taken some pictures of them. But also, you can go to YouTube. Look up Coombs and Toltec Railroad on YouTube, and you get to see a lot of scenery. And one of the things I've noticed about scenery is it is not uniform. Notice that there's vegetation here and not here. There's a lake here. The colors are different. The vegetation here is spotty. And the thing you notice about scenery is it is not uniform. And so don't have the same thing all over. You have to you have to mix it up. But the thing you want to do is get pictures of the area you would like to duplicate and really study them. Several years ago I did clouds, and it made me notice clouds, and I had things that I had never noticed about clouds. And but I lucked out and married a woman who can paint, so I don't make me talk to her. But anyway, just kind of look at the scenery and see what it looks like. And there's another one. Notice it's not uniform. There's a train here, incidentally. I'm on the Coombs and Toltec Railroad, but there's a train going the other way. But again, it is not uniform. There are patches of vegetation. There are rocks, and there's just a lot of variety, and you want to work a lot of variety into what you do. There's another one that, notice, you think that vegetation would be, your vegetation will grow in one spot, it will grow in another spot, and the answer is that's not true. The vegetation is kind of scattered there, and you kind of want to duplicate that if you're wanting to do this area. Yes.
Got a great picture of clouds too.
Yes, yeah, it was a great picture of clouds. One of the things, you've seen I've shown my railroad in the past. My wife did the backdrop, and she did a beautiful job of a variety of clouds. And she just did a fantastic job. Getting started. Again, I'm a Woodland Scenics fan. Woodland Scenics has a kit that, don't pay attention to the backdrop, that's my wife, but there's a kit that they make, and they send you everything you need just to get started. And this is what I did with the Woodland Scenics kit. This is literally their kit. Unfortunately, there's a lot of dust on it now. I don't know how to get the dust off. But anyway, that's several years old. But that's what made me a scenery addict, was I bought this kit, and I put it together. They have instructions, and you just do what they say to do, and you can develop your own techniques later, and that's what I ended up with, and I've kept that all these years. Now, it's a bit pricey. It was in Walter's catalog that sells now for $90, which seems to me to be a bit pricey. But again, I started out, I was afraid of scenery. I said, I can't do that. There's too much to do. I can't do it. But I got the kit. It wasn't $90 when I got it, and I put it together. I did it carefully, and that's what I got, and that's what got me into scenery. Well, that got me an idea that if I want to try something, I can make one of those boxes and try something else. So I built several boxes, and on part of my layout before I did it, I took a piece of plywood about this big by this big just to try the scenery, and I tried various scenery techniques, and you find what you like and what you don't like before you do it on the layout. You do it on a practice board, and I've really gotten to be a fan of practice board. This is a practice board here that I've sort of done for demonstration here, but I've done several of those, and you just in practice. And again, to me, it's fun, and I enjoy it. Woodland Scenics also has learning kits, and I'm a great fan of their learning kits. This is a trees learning kit, a rock faces learning kit, a waterfall learning kit. I haven't done much of this yet, but I need to. Like I said, I want to do a waterfall and a mountain stream, and so I'm going to have to do that. And I'm going to do it on one of those first before I do it on my layout. And once I get it where I really like it, then I'll do it on the layout. So I'm still working on my layout. Okay, so I'm going to talk about terrain, plaster cloth. The technique I've come up with, that I said, when did I try this, and it worked, was to use plaster cloth and teddy bear stuffing. And it actually works out pretty well. Now what I've done here, I'm going to demonstrate this here in a minute, but what I've done here is that technique with 2 coats of plaster cloth. I'm going to do that in a minute. But I'm going to use teddy bear stuffing. Now, what I do, that's what I do here. You know, when you order stuff from Train World or something like that, or Walton's, it comes back with these things. Don't throw them away. You can use them to fill space in here. They're free. They come with your shipment. And you just take the water this stuff and just kind of place it down here, and the nice thing about this is you can control the overall shape. You cannot control the details. So you get random, terrain is random, right? You get randomness of the terrain. So this was my technique that I have used, and I really like it. So you can make it all kinds of different shapes, and I have used this a great deal. I got ahead of myself. I was going to show some of the terrain I've had. This is, you can see the terrain in here that I have a hill here. You can't see this, but there's a bear there. And in the foreground, I do static grass. Now, I have a principle in my life that if you cannot be rich, you should have rich friends. If you don't own a static grass applicator, you should have a friend who does. Okay? Ken owns the static grass applicator and has been gracious in loaning it to me, and I have static grass here in front. Again, non-uniformity. It has some kind of ground cover someplace, some kind of ground cover other places. But my belief is just hills like this make the layout more interesting rather than being perfectly flat. I've done it in a number of places. Where is this? Oh, this is what you just saw. Now what I did here, because what you just saw is hard to get to, what I did is I got a piece of plywood on a board, and I assembled this whole thing off the layout. And then I got some help and then lifted this up and put it on the layout. And you can see the contours here and here and here of the layout. This is, I have a narrow gauge section. That's a narrow gauge terrain, but you can see the contours that I've done with this technique. This area here is a flat board, and then I put the stuffing in here and the plastic on top. Aspen trees always grow in clusters, incidentally. We'll get back to trees. This is what that looks like when I was just working on it. You can see the contours that I've got. And again, I think they worked out pretty well.
So you just set your little flat board, which is your graded area, on top of that?
Yeah.
Top of your teddy bear stuffing?
No, well, I'll put that there first. In other words, I have
a build up around it.
Yes, and build up around it. Yeah. This is a different area. The lake is my wife doing. This is a cattle pen, the contours and so forth. Again, that's the narrative section. This is another section, but the reason I wanted to show this, I have a, this is contoured down here. And again, having small hills and contours is much more interesting to look at than is flat land. So I'm trying to create interesting scenery. And this is a scene up my railroad. This is the main line and the branch line. That bridge is a,
Let me ask you on that picture right there. Did you carve the faceplate, the front edge? The fascia.
yeah.
Thank you. You're right. Before you did the contour or after?
After.
So you contoured first and then matched it. Okay.
Even small hills help. So this shows, I think this has a little bit of interest to it, but this is the same technique. It's got a contour there and trees and some of the leaves have fallen off the trees, but it's fall, so that's okay. Same technique here. I got a family having a picnic down here, some couples in the boats. But anyway, the way I did the contour here is the method I'm going to demonstrate. Okay, so you kind of make this shape the way you want it, and let me put a little bit here, and it's just easy to work, and you can kind of control the overall, but the details is just kind of random. And so we'll just leave that the way it is. Plaster cloth comes in, this is a triple roll, it's about $30, I think. And RC Hobbies stock sleeves. You still buy RC Hobbies and buy it off the shelf, or you can order it through Walters or directly from Good and Scenics. I gotta get this long enough. And it's just very simple. You get it wet. And just, it's supposed to be rough side up, and just lay it on there. And you kind of got to smooth it out a bit. So, I should have this down here. But sometimes you have to cut it to make it fit. But basically, it's just laying the plaster cloth on there like that. And it's very, very simple. And then normally I will let the first coat dry for 24 hours, and then I will put a second layer on there and let it dry for 24 hours.
You have any kind of wetting agent in there, one drop of detergent or anything? Okay.
Not in this, no.
Why do you put a second layer on?
It gives it a little bit more stiffness and covers it more.
Does it hold the trees better?
Yes. Now with trees, I use hot glue. This is a little bit, it's acting up a little bit. You can just straighten it out. Now this crease is not good, but you have some time to work it and just kind of stretch it and do whatever you want to do with it.
You let that dry 24 hours, you
Yeah.
said? Okay.
So I will do this one and let that dry 24 hours and do the second one. And then And supposedly you're supposed to smooth the plaster, be able to smooth the plaster out, but that hasn't worked for me very well. Or to get rid of the holes. What has worked for me well is, now, this side I've already done two layers. And one product that I found that works very well, because I've done some home construction in my past, is sheetrock mud. Sheetrock compound. So what I do, and you can buy up this bucket at Lowe's or Home Depot, or you can buy a bucket that I think it comes in smaller buckets. But basically, you just take some of this and just smear it on. And it's hard to get, you can't with the tool really get it. Oops. Well, now, to smooth this out, the tool that works best was given to me by my mother. I have 10 of them. I have a right-hand version and a left-hand version. And they work out very well.
The right hand better?
Yeah. Now, I've got a problem that the two of them don't work very well, but that's all right. And just kind of smooth it out by hand. And even that doesn't make it perfectly smooth, but hang on. I'm just going to smooth this out. I'm not going to do that. Now, to make it smooth, what you do is you wet your fingers. So dip my fingers in water and then smooth out some more. And you can see that's beginning to smooth out more. I can make a very smooth surface just by my fingers and water. And that makes, to me, that makes very nice contours. It's something that if you did it by sculpting foam, which a lot of people do, you can't get these dips in the terrain, but it makes, to me, it makes a very interesting terrain. But the key is keeping your fingers wet and just rubbing your fingers over that, and it works. So I'll let that dry for 24 hours before I do anything else to it. And what I will do to it is paint. Is just paint it. And you can go to Lowe's or Home Depot and get any color you want. And again, look at the pictures and get the right color. So that's just kind of how that works. Any questions? And you will use a lot of this. This is a particular material called a paper towel. And I was worried about. I was worried about making a mess here, and I guess I have, but it's all right. Okay, any questions or comments? No. Okay, there are some places where this does not work. We're talking about a kind of a steep area. Woodland Scenics makes a product called Shaper Sheet. And I have become a fan of Shaper Sheet. What it is, this is it here. What Shaper Sheet is, it comes in a roll. And again, it's available at RC Hobbies. It's got an aluminum backing it's fairly stiff, got aluminum backing, and a foam, not a foam, but a fabric on this side. Now what you're gonna do is you're going to make the contours pretty much what you want, and then you put the plaster on it. Their plaster, the plaster soaks into the fabric and it makes it stiff. So what I have here is that up here I've stapled the shaper sheet to the terrain up there. I've stapled it down here, and I've put in this is a piece of foam that holds this out and gives it a little bit of shape. But then the other shape you just kind of shape. Now it's a little bit fragile. So when you put the plaster on, what I did was I did a little bit at a time so I could put my hand under there to support it while I'm putting the plaster on. Once the plaster gets on and gets set, it'll be stiff. But when you first do it, it's a little bit fragile and not real rigid. So I did a little bit at a time, put my hand back there, did the plaster on that, let it set, and then do the next section. So that I could maintain the shape. So, and there's nothing supporting it between here and here. And then when you put the plaster on, it's not real smooth. So what I did was I used the sheetrock mud like I did here and put it on that, and it's very hard, it's very firm, it's strong, and it does well. Here is a picture of the plaster, the shaper sheet plaster. It comes in a carton like that.
What's so special about it?
Well, about the plaster?
Yeah.
I don't know. Woodland Scenics sells a lot of stuff that's just generic. They put their label on it and charge you extra.
I guess.
So there's a lot of stuff that they have that you can do your own.
Could you use it? Could you use the regular plaster on that, or no?
You can try it. I have not tried, but I don't know what is different about that plaster, about any other plaster, but you can probably use regular plaster. You might want to control the consistency, so that you might want to make it a little bit more fluid than normal plaster. So you might want to make it a little bit wetter or something like that. But
Okay.
I would seem to use regular plaster.
Are you putting the gauze on the shaper sheet, or are you putting regular plaster? I didn't understand.
The shaper sheet comes with the gauze. The shaper sheet is the aluminum.
It has the cloth on it, yeah, but I mean, are you using
No.
that, we've done that,
Yes,
and made ridges on the shaper sheet
okay.
as you're coming downhill, because you can bunch this stuff up and
Yes.
stick it on there too.
That would work. I have not done that, but yes, that would work. You could get, and one of the things you could do, of course, is what I have done is use some of the stuffing of the, use some of the stuffing to put an additional hill on it. So the answer is you can get very creative. Yeah, but you could do that as well. So, but the reason you need the shaper sheet is that this is very steep and I don't have anything to support it in the back, so I use the shaper sheet. Back here is all shaper sheet. This is what I ended up with, and you can drill in and put in trees with hot glue. I have some rocks in here. This area back in here, it's a little bit out of focus, but it's the same thing. There's shaper sheet here. Again, this area back here is some static grass. Again, you want to have a friend that's got a static grass applicator. And,
Or a club that has one.
What?
Or a club that has one.
Or a club that has one, this is for something. There is a buffalo back there, you can't see him, he may be out of the picture. I have ordered a buffalo herd, and Walters doesn't have them yet, but I'm hoping to get a buffalo herd.
For those of us that are new, what is a grass applicator? What does it do?
It's a static grass.
Quick explanation, right? High voltage, very, very low current, but it's high voltage. The grass comes in various lengths, and it's fibrous, long lengths, various colors. You take where you want to apply it, and you put down something wet glue, wet whatever, or wash. Stick your ground probe in it, which comes up to your applicator. And you fill up your applicator with the static grass, put the cover on it. The high voltage end is there, so as you shake it, the grass passes through it, the high voltage screen, it's attracted by the bottom. And when it lands pointing straight up because it's all
Static raises your hair up.
this is what static raise
Or south.
your hair. Up there. And depending, you do an area about this big, then you move the nail or the ground, wet this section over here, and you just keep moving. You also change the grass content to change the colors as it moves away and moves away.
Okay, thank you.
You just don't go like that.
Yeah.
It's a fly zapper.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
Okay, thank you.
Static grass zapper.
I made one from a fly zapper. My first one.
Yeah, I made one from a fly zapper too, but it didn't work very well.
No, they don't.
It didn't work very well. Incidentally, this building up here, one of the things I find I enjoy is building craftsman models. This is kind of off the subject, but I enjoy craftsman models. And this is the Silver Spur mine from Campbell. And the smokestack's not straight, I gotta straighten that out. But I use it as an unobtainium mine. Yeah, so this is the world's source of unobtainium. Another technique that I have heard from other people, that I'll just throw in now, is putting in ground cover. And one of the things I have found works very well is to blow it on. What I do is I have a mixture of 50% almost glue, 50% water, and I smear that on there. I don't want to do it here because it's messy, but you put the foam ground cover on there and just blow. Oops, I had some there. So, and you can control it pretty well. You've used this technique, and you can control it pretty well. So that's the way I do ground cover. Then, if I have to put more on, I will spray it first with the seating cement, and then blow some more. So you can control how much you do, and again, just play around with it. This is another area where I use the shaker sheet. So it's a good product. I like it. I just put this in here just for variety. This is off the Georgetown Loop Railroad in Colorado. There are 7 female steam locomotive engineers in the country, and this is one of them. And I took her picture. So anyway, rocks. I'm not an expert at rocks. I have done rocks some. Again, Woodland Scenics makes a good variety of rock molds, and I have used them. You can use those in a variety of ways. Sometimes you don't want to fill them all up with plaster, but they work fairly well. What's that say?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay, I was going to talk about trees. I have Jim Norris uses Scenic Express trees. There's some there that he's working on. I don't know if you know, but Jim Norris's wife is very sensitive to smells. So if he wants to assemble a tree, he has to do it here. But anyway, I had found a place called, I can't think of the name now, okay. I can't think of
It's
the name now.
okay, keep going, it'll come to you.
Something, it used to be something,
Memory is the second thing to go when you get old.
yeah,
I don't remember the first.
I don't anyway, but I tried their website recently and their website was gone. Now, the reason I like them, I'll think of it in a minute, the reason I like them is they have a lot of different specific species of trees. Now, I wanted aspen trees in the fall, and they have aspen trees in the fall, which are white bark and like orange or yellow leaves, and so they have those. And but they may be out of business now. I don't know. Last time they made two products. They made timber bents, and when you saw my trestle here, that's where I'd gotten the timber bents. And they make trees, and that's all they do. They're in San Diego, and they're out of business. I wish I could remember the name.
Is it Cripple Creek?
No. Gee.
But if they're out of business, it probably doesn't matter.
I will try to remember their name. Anyway, so I think that's all I've got. Any questions or comments?
Oh, very interesting.
That's right.
Thank you.